it influences me and tells me that, so because my mom doesn't want me to influence with boys, I just have to roam around with girls, and which leads me to get lesbian. And same case to boys.
How sometimes we push our children without knowing. And I was like, okay. And then you cannot talk about it with your parents.
Sure.
But it's good to tell your parents because they're the one who pushed you until that extent.
But how do you tell them? How do you tell your parents that you told me not to associate with boys, now I'm associating with girls, and it's become...
Just tell your parents that you have a meeting with them, then when they all gather, you just tell them about your issue and what you've decided to be, and so that they can see whether they were right or whether they were wrong. Because it's not right, because you see, when you associate with boys, you have to learn some things that are new, that you never even knew, and yeah.
Me, I started even there telling my mom or my aunt that because we do not play with boys, I am playing with girls, and now we are going to, even before you finish the sentence, your mouth will be crushed. Because I think she told me something very interesting, that, she says she doesn't see how her parents are very calm, and it's true, and then there are other parents, she knows her friends, who are being very strict, or they fight. So I think it depends on the leverage of how you communicate with your children. But the question is, you need to find out, and maybe you can ask Mr. Tom, at what stage do we start exposing our children to the realities of what is happening in school? You can help us a bit, Mr. Oza.
That's a good challenge that she's facing. Because what I just came to realize is that there is a very big gap between the parents and the children. We don't communicate with our children. But all I can borrow something from the Bible. Okay, somebody who's been close to our denomination. I'm an Adventist. There's a lady called Lgbtq White. He's written a book called Message to the Young People. Then she's also written something called the Adventist Book. And this is what she says: mothers actually are the pillar of the what?
And
the family. Spend so much time with the daughters. Spend so much time with the daughters. Start enlightening them about these challenges at an early watch, an early stage. I can borrow an example from my daughter. My daughter is she's 12. Because of the nature of our work, we're so much busy, we don't take time to talk to our children. So like 1 week ago, we noticed that she's having a boyfriend. The mother was in the rooftop. How? When? How did it start?
How did I not see?
Where did I sleep? Then I told her, don't hit the rooftop.
No.
At the moment people talk, just sit her down. There's a place you slept. Just have a conversation with her. You've gone through her phone, you realize this is what is there. Open up. Tell her what is happening. Having a boyfriend is not what? A problem.
Wow.
But you have to prioritize your what?
Yeah.
The education
Exactly.
first. And how far have you gone with this boyfriend? Just because you like somebody who's seen it there does not mean that you qualify to have what?
Yes, a boyfriend. Yeah.
She was even writing a text that if at all you don't marry me, I'll kill myself.
No, the boyfriend or your daughter?
My daughter. These are things that then I just came to realize these are things that they seem to watch in the movies
and the TV.
Internet.
Thank you,
So it's
Tom.
like, so kwa TV kama wanasema usipofanya hivi nitajinyonga.
Hata mimi nasema.
Also like something like this.
That is a very important point.
Yeah.
Social media. TV.
Yes,
Then you have to have-
internet.
You have to have a key backup of what they watch on the watch. On the internet, on the TikToks, on the YouTube.
Instagram.
I've linked their phones with my phone, so whenever they download anything,
That is very
I
interesting.
see.
Dangerous detective.
Have you heard of that?
You
Wow.
know, we've given our children gadgets, then we don't
We
care.
don't care what
Yeah.
they're going to.
Yeah.
Internet is nowadays very cheap, with
Yes.
1,500 unlimited. The whole, so when they go to sleep, you're not there.
Yeah.
And this is what I told them: once you go to sleep, I want to see your phones here.
That's a very good point.
Screen time.
Yeah.
See ati wanakaa the whole day with the watch. Wanatafuta nini?
I think you need to address this point at the workshop.
Yeah.
The phone is so much cheap in that just when I type a letter like, let me give an example, P, it will direct you to everything that begins with
With
what?
P.
Yeah. Yeah.
If I type something with F,
Yeah.
like
Like it.
Yeah.
so they'll be like curious.
What is this?
I don't know. Let me go.
Yes.
Then it directs you
To
there,
very funny
there, and then
places.
finally you end up in a very
Wow.
wanting position.
Yeah, sure.
So the challenge that we're having as parents and as young people who don't communicate.
Yes, that's the
They
communication.
don't know what Stacy is doing.
Yeah.
Wanaume vijana ni wabaya sana nisikuone na
It's
wao.
going now, yes.
Just the same way she said.
You're pushed to.
Tafute wasichana sasa because ugani they're actually our enemies. Then you end up finding this kind of the lele and stuff like
Yes,
that.
okay. And sorry.
Okay, and the other thing is about just what you spoke, is that you find these parents who are very harsh on their kids, but they don't know how to stop some
Ah,
stuff from happening for them.
yeah.
Unamwambia, I don't want to see with a boy. Lala hapa karibu na mimi.
Mm.
Like in our villages, most of those girls who get pregnant at early age ni wao wenye wanakaziwa. You find them sneaking when they are supposed to go to school. They go with their boyfriend.
Yeah, because they fear.
Yeah, they fear.
Because of the fear. So our parents are inciting the fear within us.
The way-
Na wanatuambia don't go, don't sit with the boys. Like in our places, you don't find girls sleeping in the houses where there's a father and the brother.
Yes.
Wasichana wanaenda kutafuta mahali ya kulala in the neighborhood.
On the way of going to the place, looking for the place, who comes along?
Yeah, in the bushes. So you find our parents are neglecting.
Yeah.
Not because they are willing. Maybe sometimes they lack the
They
knowledge.
didn't know. They didn't know.
Yeah. So when we need to, because we can't reach to all our parents, we need to talk with our girls, our boys.
Yes.
Hata kama ni kijana, they go and tell their mothers and their fathers, usikazie mali, give her freedom, but tell her this is the limits you have to
Oh yeah, the
go.
limit.
Yes.
We need to empower them to empower their parents.
That's the point.
Yeah.
And that's the point. I remember when I was growing up, I'd been sent to buy sugar. And when I was buying sugar, one of the young men stopped to ask, oh, by the way, Evelyn, I was looking for your brother. If you get him, tell him namtafuta. That was the conversation. And I was trying to make sure it does not continue long, yeah? A certain auntie from a window saw me talking to this young man. And in one way, she communicated to my mother. So my mother is that, unatuma sukari, you are going to look for boys. I said, I did not even look for it. I mean, somebody saw you. I was given the discipline of the year.
Oh, yeah.
Because the idea is, what is this so bad if you talk to boys? And when I was talking to Stacey yesterday, in fact, so many things came to my mind. We are being told boys are bad. We are not being told what it is about boys that is bad.
Sure.
So you are pushed to the other wall. And then you end up thinking boys are bad. In fact, for me, I ended up hating boys. Because boys spoil our lives, boys do this and that, without explaining to me, how do they do it? And now if you come to the schools, we are pushing our girls to the other side with the girls and pushing our sons to the other side. And then what is happening in schools, it is shocking. Lesbianism and gayism in school is the order of the day. Because we have pushed our children to the other end. But the question I'm trying to find out is, how do we break the niche? Because our parents have got this mentality, hii ni kimila yetu.
You know, also I think the Ma community and part of Teknanagusa, they've got this culture that girls and boys don't do what? Don't mix.
Yes.
Because Because there's a time I went to a funeral in Elgeyo Marakwet. A funeral. Wanawake wanakaa.
Na wanaume wanakaa.
They don't mix.
That's very true.
So huyu msichana mwenye amegrow akijua atuingiani nao jamaa. And there's something I came to realize. Wakati mtu anakatazwa kitu, anataka kujua.
Anakuwa curious.
So that is your curiosity ni anataka ajue. I want to get to the bottom to know. Mbona naambiwa John ni mbaya? What?
Ubaya wake uko wapi?
So by the time anataka kwenda ku experience,
it's too late.
Something has already happened.
Na unajua boys wetu anawaambia, you know there are some girls unapata unasema huyu aliingishwaje box?
Kienyeji.
Aliingishwaje box. So Ruth, we hope that you and Sharon will also pick up what we are doing here to also bring this awareness also in Kisii community, because we're trying to work with all the communities. Now you realize we have Kisii, we have Masai, we have got Samburu, we have got Marsabit, we have got Pokot, Turkana, Luya. So we have got a whole mix from our scholars. You'll see that, and that is why we say that at least you come. And then you make this message also to other scholars back home that Bring Up Kenya does this campaign to bring awareness in many schools. And and sometimes it is very interesting when you talk to a scholar one-to-one. I've never met Stacy, but yesterday we were talking, I was like, oh my goodness, this is a gap that needs to be filled. This is a missing gap where we push our girls to school, our sons to school, but we don't allow them to ask these questions. You know, what is happening to my body? I remember when I was growing up as a teenage girl, we were singing this song, wash me and I shall be whiter than snow. So I'm asking my auntie, what is snow? And I'm here, Imba. You sing, you'll understand snow in heaven. So let us open up a channel where, and I'm hoping these 3 days, our sons, and we have to call them sons. And Stacey was asking yesterday, I'm not asked the question, what did the girl tell you when you called her? Alikuwa kutoka alafu ndio tuende T7. Sorry.
It was not a sign of rudeness, but I just found myself calling her that msichana. So she was like, stop calling me that name. If you don't want to call me by my name, just keep quiet. Then I was like, why doesn't she want to be called like msichana? So and then a certain Luo girl then told me that, you see the Maasais, they usually go under FGM, and when they go through it, they understand that they are now women. They're not girls. So you call them that. It's I never knew.
But she did not know.
You know, even Kisii uses a very bad word.
Oh yes. We don't even say it.
Even to the boys,
yes,
it's actually very bad. Yeah? So when I think this community they've gone through that passage, then jaribu kumrudisha kama hajatakiwa passage.
Inakaa matusi.
And that is why I want us to be very sensitive when we talk and we say our sons and daughters. Tusiwaite boys.
Okay.
Sorry? Or sisters and brothers. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
Because for Stacey, who did not experience that, she was like, what mistake have I done? So we were talking about it yesterday. And I think for us at Bring Up Kenya, it doesn't matter whether you've gone through that or not. You are still sisters and brothers. But I think for them, it is so deep in them that if you call me that name, you're abusing me.
Yeah.
Now I was telling Stacey that it is nice that you're aware about that. Call her by the name. And also she was saying, why is that not being taught in school, as a subject in school? And I told her that there are some communities, they will feel embarrassed if people know you've gone through that. So to bring that in school will be, I don't know, how do you discuss that in school? Because in a community like yours or Ma, where they all do it is okay. But in a school where you have mixed people, you have the Luos, so I think it will be very sensitive to bring that topic up. And it's like almost you're going to shame the ones who have gone through it. So it has to be very, how do you call it, balanced. Okay, people, I am looking at the time, it is 8:20. So we have got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, sure.
We can do it after.
So that you see, when a week ago, when we were in church, we were talking about child labor. So our teachers told us that boys never like girls because you see, boys, they want to relieve their pain in girls, like when, let's say I'm walking on the road, and a boy passes by them, he touches me like this, that means that he's releasing his hormones on me. Like boys never like girls. He just want to ruin the life of girls and just leave their hormones so that the girls can suffer.
Very interesting. The question is which hormones are they releasing? Okay.
Oh.
Let's proceed.
Let's
Let's
start
take.
like 2 minutes. There's a facilitator who's just crossing over.